It's time for another weekend garden walk. Look at this, we are blooming here. So let's walk around and enjoy the garden. By the way, before the thunderstorm is coming. So I asked you in my previous video how your flowering season for roses was this year, and some of you told me that roses were not blooming very profusely. So that's what happened to me. My roses didn't perform very well. And look at this, second flush of blooms is coming so much faster and really well. My Lady of Shalott doesn't bloom like that second time around and so fast. So hey, I take it. Look at all of these long stems. They are creating blooms. Usually these long shoots are just going up because Lady of Shalott wants to become a climber, a small climber at this stage. And once these blooms are finishing blooming, I will cut it down and Lady of Shalott will perform like a shrub in my garden. So here's a video, by the way, how to deal with roses, which are somewhere in between shrub size and climbing size. So I am really enjoying my roses. Yesterday was my birthday. Tomorrow we are expecting family coming over. And this would be a great addition to the garden. So let's go and look what's happening in this side of the garden. And here the center stage right now is belonging to Rose of Sharon. So the history of this beautiful Rose of Sharon here is, usually Rose of Sharon doesn't behave like a tree, but this Rose of Sharon, look at this beautiful long stem. This Rose of Sharon was growing under my holly bush, and it was growing in the shade, and it was really stretching its limbs to get the sun. Well, I saw that beautiful long growing performance, almost like a like a tree rose when rose is grafted on another rootstock. So the same happened to my Rose of Sharon. Because it was stretching so much, it got very long limb, and now it's behaving like a tree, and I really like it here. All the flowers are falling down, which is fine, and after the blooms I'm going to trim this tree, Rose of Sharon tree, and because Rose of Sharon was growing so much in the shade, it lost that stiffness, Rose of Sharon. Except for some varieties, Rose of Sharon has that stiff character, which I not really particularly like, and sometimes it's difficult to fit into the garden. So this Rose of Sharon is behaving like a tree, and I like that habit. Alright, all these flowers are falling, and I'm just throwing them back under the tree. Beautiful. Bees love these flowers. They're coming here maybe for a week already, and they're going to blossom consistently for another week maybe. So this is a Rose of Sharon. Olivia Austin had several of, something ate it, had several of Japanese beetles. Starting to push the second blooms. They're not as big and not as pink. They are on the whiter side, which is fine by me. And you know what? I made a mistake, probably like a lot of gardeners. I planted them here, these guys, too close together. So maybe next year I'm going to replant these fellows here to make space for my growing Olivia Austin. Let's check the blooms of butterfly bush. It is coming into its bloom time. It's not going to be as thick and as it always was for last 10 years, because I lost half of the bush. But still, butterfly bush is so proliferous with its blooms, and I really don't deadhead it. I just let it go into its seasoned stage. There are a lot of butterflies coming in, and of course a lot of people tell me that butterfly bush is not a host to a lot of butterflies. Butterflies only come and eat, but they don't really lay their eggs on butterfly bush. So that's it. And now at the back I have a wonderful success story. My Katrina Rose, let's check how tall and healthy it is. And some people, let me move this away. Some people Question. How good it is to defoliate and throw away the weak foliage. So look at this. A happy grower. It's a nice happy success story here. So what happened to this rose? Here at the bottom we have a lot of shade. So this rose was very little. It's a baby rose and it was struggling with black spot. Oh my gosh, at the beginning of the season. And I almost used systemic substance on it to control the black spot, which I really didn't want to use. So what I did, instead I went in and I took all the black spot leaves out, destroyed them, throw them into the trash. You see all this I just took off and left my rose with several little branches to develop. And since then, this rose got a good new start, started growing, and look at this. Every day I see a new growth. Like yesterday, it was probably 3 inches shorter. So my rose decided to live after all, which is lovely. And next year, imagine all the blooms here. This yellow wall is not going to be visible at all, which was the plan. Oh, it's full of water right now. I was trying to figure out, let me just water this. This is my birthday gift from my husband, and I was trying to figure out how much of water it can hold. Are there signs? No. It can hold 2 gallons of water, I believe. So this is a nice tin can. My husband gave it to me as a gift. And you know, sometimes we forget our plastic cans somewhere in the garden. They really don't look nice. They look like something which needs to be cleaned up. And the other day I left this can on the porch and I was looking in the morning and the can was almost like a part of the picture, you know. So I was thinking to myself, even if I forget this can somewhere in the garden, it will look good. So that's a beautiful thing about those good old-fashioned things. And I think I'm hopelessly old-fashioned, so I appreciate the old-fashioned looking can, which my husband got me for my birthday. And my neighbor, look at this. My beautiful neighbor got my little roses, mini roses. And guess what? I never grew mini roses in my garden. And the plan is I want to overwinter them inside of the house as house plants. So let's see how that goes. I have this back porch, which is not really heated in the winter. We keep it just above the freezing temperature, around 45, I would say 40. And I think my roses, I'm not sure. I have to read on them, on these minis in the house. So I will keep you posted how these guys are going to live through the season in my house. So these are the minis. The only thing with Rose of Sharon is, if you want to display it in decorative garden, you have to pick up these pods, like flowers falling down, because they are really becoming slimy and they can be dangerous on the sidewalk because they're very slippery. But otherwise, Rose of Sharon is just lovely. By the way, the reseeder, I must say. I want to show you one more gift which I received. Look at this, also garden gift. I don't think we had a right place for this here. Originally we were thinking that in this like a shady corner between our boxwoods, old boxwoods and azalea, we have here kind of open corner. And my husband bought this bird bath. But I think birds are threatened here. They don't like the enclosure when they're taking a bath. So we're going to move it. And you know where we're going to move it? I think, look at this. This would be a nice place for that bird bath right here. What do you say? This area is kind of quiet right now, so that blue color of bird bath would be quite nice here. And hostas love the splashing of water, so hosta wouldn't mind. If it would be near roses, roses would be really unhappy with that constant moisture, but hostas would be very happy. So I think we're going to move it and see if birds would like it here. All right, my dear gardeners, it looks like we are going to finish this video because I can feel first drops of rain coming in, and bees are still trying to get all that nectar coming from these wonderful flowers. So thank you for watching and have a lovely weekend, and we will see you in our next video. Happy gardening!